In order to get to the contact module, we will click on the blue contact button. And you perhaps noticed that all of the buttons were different colors. Essentially, the different modules are color keyed so that when you are in an area, you will quickly be able to identify what part of the system you are in. The contact module will contain contact information for everyone who buys your tours, has purchased your tours, will or maybe will buy your tours, and who sells your tours, either professional travel agents or group leaders. Each contact record you can consider a household in the context of someone who has purchased your tour or who might buy your tour, because there are fields for more than one name. There are also fields for multiple phone numbers, cell phones, emails. We have a home address. We also have an alternate address. An alternate address would be for a snowbird who goes south during the winter, or I don't know what you would call someone who lives in Florida who wants to go north in the summer. But anyway, you're able to load the address, or you're able to load the dates at which that person is at that alternate address, and the system will automatically switch mailing labels and letterhead addresses to that seasonal address anytime you include that person in a mailing. We also have a business address. This screen will allow you to load the business location for your group leaders or travel agents if they are in fact professionals. You can also connect your professional group leader or travel agent to a higher organization, a higher level. This would be a consortium, this could be a travel agency, it could be a school where you have multiple teachers who are associated with one school. This adds a higher level of reporting for your sales reports. Mailing groups, this is a set of fields that contain a list of criteria. All of these criteria are customizable by you. We will set this up before you start loading your data. This is classified as a mailing group, so you could mail to all of your travel agents, to all of your professional associations, your service clubs. Whatever criteria would be important to you in selecting a subgroup of potential travelers or travelers to mail to. You can break them down by interest. This is another example of overnight, day trip, casino, cruise, fly dry, beach. And there are a couple of these that I did notice in the list that I loaded for you over the weekend. Also destinations. You might select a mailing group by destination. So if someone calls and said, well, do you have anything going to Africa? Well, when you process their record, you would go ahead and click on Africa. So anytime you're setting up a trip to Africa or an appropriate destination, you could do a quick search and locate all of the individuals who are interested in that destination. The group information tab is very useful. You can link any number of contact records to another contact record. So in the context of a group leader, Joe here is a group leader of the Rest Haven Travel Club, and these are individuals who are linked to his group, members of his group. We have quick navigation set up so that once I'm on Joe's record, if I want to go to Bill's record, all I need to do is click the Go button, and it immediately pops me over to Bill's record. Looking at Bill's record, remember he's a member of Joe's club. I can then click on the Go button and return to Joe's record. So we have a lot of quick navigation built into the system to help you perform tasks and to locate information. I'm going to do a search now. TourTools uses what we call a natural English search. By clicking on the Find button, you get a choice of, do you want to use the current screen? In other words, do you want to use information in one of these fields to locate one or more records, or do you want to go to a larger screen which will give you more fields? I'm going to go ahead and just use the current screen. I'm going to go ahead and type a few characters in a couple of fields. Because TourTools uses natural English, you do not have to use codes or serial numbers or even entire words in order to locate one or more records. In this case, it has pulled up one record, so it goes immediately to a detail record. If there were multiple records selected, it would have gone to the list view, and then I could review the list and pick out the record that I wanted. In this case, the record I want is off screen. I click on the detail button, and it comes back to essentially my record. I pulled this record up simply because I know that there's some information in this that I wanted to share with you. This is a notes screen. The next 3 screens will be immensely useful to you. Anytime someone calls, while you're chit-chatting, you can go ahead and pull up their record in contacts. And these 3 screens will give you all the information that your company has about this individual, which will be extremely useful in structuring your conversation. Essentially, after you have a phone conversation with this individual, you should type a few notes in here and click the little pencil button. What it will do is add it to this text stack. It will put the date, 1/7. It will put in blue the username, and it will put the synopsis of the conversation in the note field. Anytime someone comes back to this record, they can glance at it and get an entire history of all the conversations that you've had with this individual. On the activities screen, you have on the left-hand side all of the activities. Activities are things like emails, proposals that have been prepared for them, information requests when they've called or written for asking for brochures. On the right-hand side, you see their to-do list. These are action items that have been loaded into the system either manually or automatically. The red ones basically are past due. These are color-coded. I'll click on a new item here. As I said, they're color-coded. The things that are coming up this week in the next 7 days sort to the top of the list and are coded yellow. Things that are in the future, more than a week out, will be next. They are colored green. Things that are incomplete are red, and things that are completed are white and will drop to the bottom. And on the bookings and quotes screen, on the right-hand side, you see all of the booking records that have been created for this individual, as well as the number of passengers associated with that booking. On the right-hand side, you see all the proposals that have been prepared for this individual. And at the bottom, if this individual is a group leader, you see all of the individuals who are members or related to this group leader. You see links to all of their bookings as well. And again, this is not only for information, but it's also a link screen. If I click on one of these buttons, it will take me to that booking. And by clicking on the client button, I return back to my client record. Everything is linked together in the system to facilitate whatever tasks you are ready to perform. Now, because TourTools is set up to work with groups as well as individuals who are booking seats on a tour, we do have screens in client so that you can create a running history of the information that is required for perhaps international travel, which even includes Canada at this point. This is information, emergency contact information, date of birth, place of birth, medical conditions, that sort of thing. And then on the right-hand side, the contact information. On the passport screen, you have information for the passports. And again, the purpose of this is once you collect this information, you can load it into TourTools once, and anytime this passenger will travel with you again in the future, which we certainly hope they will, you will be able to pull up the information, send it to them for verification rather than re-entry. So it saves the passenger time, saves you and your staff an enormous amount of time, and keeps everything organized for you. This is hobbies and interests, essentially marketing information. And again, you can't collect too much information to assist with marketing these days. Contacts, like the other modules in TourTools, has a button palette at the top of the screen. Master menu will return you to the master menu. This will tell you how many records are in the found set. A found set is the number of records that you currently can view. There might be 50,000 records in a database, but currently we are only looking at the first record of 1. This is the client record number. Each record number does have a unique serial number. You do not have to remember that number. TourTools will remember it for you, and when you look for John's record, you simply have to remember part of his name. The buttons with the little icon, it sort of looks like the sun coming up or maybe a newspaper on fire. That indicates new. So this would be new proposal, new booking. The little magnifying glass indicates a search process. So you see find and find all. A sort button. So if you have a group of records and you want to put them into last name order, you're able to do that. We have list view. The buttons with the little silver arrows, those are navigation buttons. This would take you to the booking table and locate the records that belong to this client. A report screen, which we'll look at here in a minute. The trash can indicates either delete or, in the case of a tour or a booking record, it can indicate cancel. It is to be used very sparingly. In fact, most of your user accounts will not allow you to delete records. We also have a frequent traveler program, FTP. This will allow you to assign points for tours taken. It will allow you to track that, and then as travelers cash in their points, you will give them essentially pennies on the dollar in discounts. This part of the system will not only track the points for you, but produce statements as well. And again, that can be modified so that we can track membership. If necessary, sometimes members get a higher redemption rate. Sometimes they don't get a redemption rate unless they are members. So there's a variety of different options that we can arrange for you. So I mentioned each module has a reporting capability. One of the nice things in the client module, we have an email capability where you can set up a subject, a generic message, and then because you're able to search, for instance, we mentioned an African trip. You could pull up a list of all the people interested in Africa. You could write a cover email message saying, hey, we've got this great trip to Africa. We'd love to have you join us. And then outside of TourTools, you would have created a PDF document of the itinerary, more information about the trip. And then with a couple clicks of a button, you can set it up so that you are sending that email message with the PDF to the group of individuals that you've selected. Very powerful marketing feature because it will also record the fact that you have sent this document to those individuals, and that the record of that event then becomes additional marketing information for the future. You can print zip code reports, you can print source reports. Very easy to load an information brochure request and then process those as well. The system will print a variety of label sizes. We can print envelopes, whatever you need. That concludes the introduction to the contact database. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now.